Welcome to Bullets, Pickler Wealth Advice Monthly Market Update, where each month I look into the major political and economic activities happening in our world. No frills, no jargon, just the facts. April is Financial Literacy Month, and this month we're going to target a very special quote from one of my favorite presidents. In one of the earliest recognitions of the importance of financial literacy, former President John Adams pointed out that many of America's issues stemmed from, quote, downright ignorance of the nature of coin, credit, and circulation, unquote. This acknowledgement sparked a growing interest in fostering a financially literate population from that point forward. As always, let's take a look back in the month of March. March was an incredible month for the stock market. And actually, it ended our first quarter, a first quarter that set all kinds of records in terms of market performance. We saw the S&P 500 close the quarter with a 10.2% rate of return. We saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 5.69% and the NASDAQ, the over-the-counter market, at 9.1%. That performance by the S&P 500 was the very best quarter that we've seen in the S&P in 5 years. March also represented the fifth consecutive month of positive market performance. It was an incredible month for us. It also gave a very strong indication for the future, that if you take a look back to the history of the markets, that in those quarters, when the first quarter is up 10% or more, in 91% of the times, the market ended the year positive, with an average overall rate of return of over 17%. Now we're moving into the second quarter as we move into the month of April. And while we are very excited about the performance that we've seen in the market in the first quarter, we saw a tremendous amount of exuberance, of excitement about the market. Time will tell whether that exuberance was rational or irrational. A major determinant of the market performance going forward will be looking at the data. One of the things we'll be looking at will be continuation to watch inflation numbers. We saw the PCE inflation numbers in the month of March with an inflation rating of around 2.8%. Continue to see positive improvement with inflation coming down. We also are looking at the jobs numbers and want to make sure that we're continuing to see growth in jobs, but maybe not too fast a growth. Because at the end of the day, the most important determinant of market behavior very well will be a belief in the market that the Federal Reserve will continue upon the path they've stated towards 3 rate cuts this year. Because see, when rates are cut by the Fed, that causes the cost of money, the cost of financing to go down for businesses, which can lead to much greater performance in terms of the stocks and much better outcomes for investors. So as we go forward in the second quarter and certainly in the month of April, we're going to be paying much more attention to the data. We're going to be watching earnings seasons as they begin on April 12th. And we certainly will be continuing to watch the Fed, which will meet again on the last day of April and then to report the next movement on the first day of May. And while we're not expecting the Federal Reserve to cut rates this month, all eyes will be on the Fed to make sure that we're continuing on the path towards the Federal Reserve beginning to that rate cutting cycle in the June time period. Each month we typically highlight a wonderful quote, normally from a past president. Well, as a very special April treat for you, we're deciding this month that we're going to highlight another incredible historical figure, Sir Winston Churchill. Since we are talking about presidential politics this year, I felt this quote was especially significant. Churchill, one of the greatest leaders of all time, was once known to say that politics is almost as exciting as war and quite as dangerous. In war, you can only be killed once, but in politics, many times. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of Bullets. At Pickler Wealth Advisors, it's our family delivering solutions for your family. This is our passion. This is our purpose. Together we plan. Until next month, this is David Pickler, and look forward to seeing you next month for another edition of Bullets.